Hi gamers, in this video I will briefly but comprehensively cover the plot of the game Escape from Tarkov, delve into causes of the conflict and take a look at the future. Watch until the end. My name is Max and you're on WCFT channel, let's go! Tarkov was first mentioned in 1998. At that time, it served as scientific and industrial center of closed administrative territorial entities specializing in electronics production. With the beginning of the construction of the Nord Stream international gas pipeline, new federal subject was created at the junction of the Leningrad and Murmansk regions. Along the border with Finland, the Norwinsk region, which was granted the status of a special economic zone and became a sort of gateway to Europe. Favorable tax conditions, the concentration of advanced business technologies and close attention from the ruling circles were all intended to make the Norwinsk region highly attractive to major international companies. The centers of the region are two small ultra-modern cities built in the shortest possible time, Tarkov and Norwinsk. Tarkov was intended to be a financial and raw material center, so it was constructed with a developed transport system of railways, port facilities and convenient road junctions. Norwinsk, on the other hand, was an office and business center. The two cities were connected by a high-speed bridge spanning a section of the Gulf of Finland. However, the excellent conditions for major companies attracted not only low-bid income interpreters, but also corporations with dubious plans. Thus, the British company TerraGroup and its subsidiary TerraGroup Labs began operations in Tarkov, now not only for creating future technologies but also helping third world countries. With the support of the city's mayor, the corporation quickly spread its tentacles, illegally acquiring city land at virtually no cost. Thus, in November 2009, TerraGroup Labs took ownership of chemical plant number 16 and the adjacent land. From 2009 to 2010, the mayor of Tarkov issued 5 decrees alienating city land in favor of TerraGroup Labs, with total damages exceeding 100 million rubles. Investigative authorities uncovered numerous shady deals and corruption connections between representatives of foreign corporations and local officials and major businessmen, as well as a series of serious crime against officials and the civilian population. Besides initiating criminal cases against high-ranking employees of TerraGroup's branch, the investigation revealed that TerraGroup Labs, through front companies, was showing increased interest in lands previously owned by the Russian Ministry of Defense, where military units were located. As a result, TerraGroup Labs company activities were frozen. Investigators' attempts to enter the company facilities were stopped by security forces, and in response to the prosecutor's office statement on the illegality of PMC presence on Russian territory and obstruction of investigative authorities, corporation representatives cited a contract with the regional government. Based on this statement, the prosecutor's office initiated a criminal case and the property of the company Russian branch was seized. On August 6, 2011, a group of investigators arrived at TerraGroup Labs' central office to seize operational documents but were not allowed inside. The employees called in AMON, Special Purpose Police Unit and GABAR, Rapid Response Team Squad. During the building storming, a shootout ensued between law enforcement operatives and the security company, lasting over 45 minutes, resulting in deaths of 18 investigators and 21 operatives. TerraGroup Labs' losses were not determined. The building was destroyed by remote detonation. Later that same day, the freighter Ocean Slugger departed from the 5th berth of the cargo port. Attempts to intercept the freighter were unsuccessful as the vessel managed to leave Russian territory. It may have carried key company personnel, essential documents, and the bodies of the deceased. On August 9, the freighter arrived at the Danish port of Køge for repairs. At the port, 50 to 80 non-crew members disembarked and were met by tinted minibuses. After 3 days of repairs, the freighter departed for the Icelandic port of Husavik but never reached its destination. According to Iceland's coastal rescue services, the vessel sent a SOS signal from the Faroe Islands area, but the signal ceased after 5 minutes. The crew and remnants of the ship were not found. Since August 8, 2011, all known TerraGroup's facilities in the Northeast region have blocked by Russian internal troops. During the investigation, an UN commission demanded that the Russian government withdraw troops from civilian objects and introduced a limited contingent of blue helmets, UN peacekeepers. The government in turn stated that the internal troops would leave their positions only after their transfer to the UN contingent in the presence of an international commission and the Russian prosecutor office investigators. On August 28, during the transfer of one positions in the port terminal area, a group of unknown individuals provoked a shootout between Russian internal troops and Blue Helmets. Both sides suffered losses, and the situation escalated to the limit. An increased contingent of peacekeepers was introduced to the region, while the Russian armed force returned to their positions. As the authorities continued to rapidly lose control over the situation, they decided to introduce a new party to the conflict, Bear. As a result, the situation in Tarkov resembles a layered cake. The peacekeeping contingent occupies most key areas of the region. The border with Finland and the sea border remain under control of the Federal Border Guard Service of Russia, blocking all exit roads to the west. The only airport near Norwings is non-operational, with its air corridor under constant local air defense control. The land border has been significantly reinforced by the internal troops. Those peacekeepers and TerraGroup employees, protected by their private military company, were cut off from the outside world. Due to the presence of UN contingent, the authorities cannot resolve the issue by force. It would seem that the logical response of the government would be to impose martial law, but in this case the opponents would be leading powers, who are the main holders of nuclear weapons. Predicting the outcome of a probable confrontation is quite easy. Therefore, the only relatively peaceful solution to this crisis can be achieved only by some third party. Thus, by a secret decision of the Russian government, a company for search and seizure called Bear was registered in Cape Verde. It included retired veterans of special forces from the Russian armed forces and former Soviet Union countries, with a total staff of 3,000 people. The Norwegian branch of the Public Organization for a Clean Land signed a contract with the Bear company, according to which the company's employees are to find documents of physical evidence of illegal activities by TerraGroup labs, by any means necessary, including force. As private contractors for the regional public organization, Bear PMC personnel conduct localized combat operations in and around Tarkov. Any conflicts provoked by them in the Norwegian region are to be interpreted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as the peacekeepers' inability to investigate incidents and ensure the safety of the local population. Bear employees began fulfilling the contract on October 20, 2011. The history of the Usec company goes far back. American businessman Brian Kernighan, who inherited a company engaged in cargo transportation across the Mexican border from his father, faced the problem of frequent attacks on transport. The businessman decided to hire armed guards to escort the cargo, but found that hiring guards was very costly and it was more profitable to organize his own security structure. Kernighan turned to professional mercenaries and purchased armored vehicles. Seeing the enormous potential in security and escort services, after some time, Kernighan bought the company Red Bird from retired US Army General George Steiner, forming his own PMC, Kearney-SAC. In 1999, he entered into a merger deal with SafeSea, a paramilitary organization specializing in escorting maritime shipments. Thus, United Security was formed a rapidly growing company with an almost impeccable reputation, experienced leadership, and a promising future. Contracts from the British government and Pentagon further strengthened the company's reputation. In 2004, it began cooperating with the large international corporation TerraGroup. Within this partnership, Usec employees provided security for all the corporational structural divisions. Essentially, Usec became TerraGroup's personal guard, with offices in more than 30 countries and a staff of about 7,500 employees. After the introduction of Bear PMC forces into the region, the Bears surrounded the city, blocking any possibility of evacuating personnel of physical evidence. The operatives blocked the bridge to Norwings, neutralized a secret communications hub at the old sawmill, and destroyed several warehouses containing unknown items. The centers of conflict gradually shifted from the suburbs of Tarkov to the city itself. The media condemned the peacekeepers for their inaction. Authorities took measures to evacuate the civilian population, but for some unknown reason, these efforts were quickly halted. Mass attempts by people to leave the city on their own led to traffic jams and numerous accidents. Criminal elements, taking advantage of the chaos, began robbing civilians, forming gangs, and even raiding police stations, subsequently fighting among themselves for the control of the city. As for the PMCs, they started a full state-local war. However, by uncovering more and more facilities of foreign corporations, beer employees seemed to offer some hope of stabilizing the situation in the region. But then came the day when the sky was lit up by the blue flame of an electromagnetic pulse. Electrical devices instantly failed. Some people even began to say it was a sign of the impending end of the world. At the same time, both PMCs lost contact with their commons, remaining cut off from the outside world. The previous task began to lose relevance, and now the main goal was to survive and try to understand what was happening. It is at this point that the events of the game Escape from Tarkov begin. Unfortunately, many questions remain unanswered by Battle State Games, only fueling our curiosity with new books and episodes of the Raid series. From the old developer notes, it is known that around 2014, the forces of two PMCs united in the face of new, much more dangerous threat. Many small groups with their own personal interest formed. The legendary Norwing's Brigade appeared, fighting bandits and renegades, saving civilians and battling harsh realities. On September 19, 2018, the world experienced a nuclear holocaust. The world changed forever. The old state order collapsed, and the elites who were evacuated in time became the stronghold of a new power characterized only by strength and cruelty. The plot of the Russia 2028 and Escape from Tarkov universe is still shrouded in many mysteries and secrets that we have yet to solve in the future. But even now, it can be said that the universe has significant potential for the development by the studio itself and for fan creativity. It is worth noting separately that in the process of preparing the material, we noticed some confusion in the days and sequence of events. It is quite likely that the scriptwriters corrected the plot and led these inaccuracies. According to available information, somewhere in the studio is a book about the universe titled Russia 2024, written by Alexei Panamo back in 2014. Unfortunately, the developers did not answer our question about it. Well, we can only wait for the appearance of story quests in the game that will shed light on the events, making it clear whether humanity has any hope for the future. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.